Welcome back. The Deep Dive. You know, it feels like there's this fundamental human thing, doesn't it? This need for guidance when we face the really big unknowns.
Absolutely, it's universal.
And today, we've got this fascinating stack of sources. They're not really about the usual rituals or history, but they zoom right in on the duty, the deep responsibility of one particular deity.
We're talking about Anubis, the ancient Egyptian guide, the protector, and yeah, these sources we're looking at, they're almost purely descriptive. It's all about his reliability, his care, his kind of eternal job description, you could say.
Right. Less about judgment, much more about absolute assurance.
Exactly that.
So our mission here for you listening in is to really unpack these incredibly rich descriptions. They're almost poetic, some of them.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get at Anubis's function, not just what he is, but how he actually provides that passage, that safety, that comfort.
And we're kind of synthesizing it, aren't we? Boiling it down into maybe 3 core roles that we see emerging from the text.
Yeah, exactly. The protector, the guide, and then this element of trust.
It's really interesting because the whole tone of this material seems geared toward dispelling fear. It just keeps hammering home how consistent and complete Anubis's commitment is.
Yeah, what struck me is they never really waver from showing him as this steady, protective presence. It doesn't matter what chaos might be happening elsewhere, he's there.
That's the core message, I think.
Okay, so let's unpack this first part then, setting the scene. The first big theme that comes through is this eternal, steadfast protection, right at that moment of stillness for the soul.
Well, it starts with the state of rest. The sources, they immediately talk about a final place. They actually call it the chamber of rest.
The chamber of rest. Okay, that makes you picture somewhere specific, doesn't it? A destination, a kind of refuge.
It does. But interestingly, getting there isn't passive. The sources are clear. The deceased have to be prepared and ready.
Prepared and ready. And they link this condition to something called the gift of life. That sounds pretty profound, doesn't it?
It really is. And it's probably not just about the physical embalming, you know?
There's more to it.
I think if you connect the dots, it points towards a kind of spiritual or maybe psychological readiness, a transformation. Death isn't just stopping, it's achieving this state of preparation.
So the transformation is the gift. It makes the soul ready for what comes next.
Exactly. It turns the end of physical life into the start of this secure spiritual state.
Okay, that changes the perspective quite a bit. You're not just dead, you're prepared. You've undergone this necessary change.
Yeah.
But hang on. If you are prepared and you're ready, why the need for such absolute, unwavering protection still?
Well, being ready isn't the same as being safe, is it?
Good point.
And the sources move straight from preparation to defense. They state it very clearly. The embalmed soul is, and this is a quote, guarded by Anubis.
Guarded. And the nature of this guarding, that's what's really powerful here. It's not like a temporary shield you pick up.
No, not at all. It's described as a permanent condition. The commitment is talked about using this incredibly strong, absolute language, the everlasting watch, the eternal protection.
Wow, everlasting, eternal.
And then they just state it plainly. He will always be there. It just removes any kind of time limit.
It sounds less like a simple duty and more like a fundamental existential anchor. Like, if the threat, whatever it might be, is potentially always there, even in this chamber of rest, then Anubis has to be constant too.
That seems to be the implication. It's the ultimate assurance against the fear of the unknown, isn't it? An immediate, absolute guarantee baked into the system.
Yeah. His presence defines the soul's new reality. Okay.
Precisely.
So, if we accept that Anubis is this eternal protector for the soul at rest, the prepared soul, what happens when the soul needs to move? Because it doesn't just stay still, does it?
No, and that's where we see the role shift, or maybe expand. This is the transition from that static protection to active guidance.
Okay, so section 2, the active guide.
Yeah, and this shows that dual nature of his job. He's not just passively standing at a border. He's involved in the movement itself. The sources actually call him the journey's guard.
The journey's guard.
Yeah.
So protecting a process, a transition, not just a place.
Exactly. And that means he has to be active. He has to be in motion with the soul.
Right, because they explicitly say he leads the way. He doesn't just watch you leave. If he leaves, that implies he knows the route, right? He knows where to go, how to navigate it confidently. He's like a pioneer guiding you step by step. You're not just wandering off on your own.
And this is where we need to get a bit more specific about his actions. If the soul is guarded while resting, like we discussed, this next part shows the need to actively secure the outcome The sources say he secures the journey, guaranteeing the safe passage.
Okay, let's pause on that distinction. Guarding versus securing. Guarding sounds preventative, like watching over something valuable but vulnerable. But securing, what does that actually imply? Is it more active?
I think it has to be, doesn't it? Securing means making sure something happens successfully, dealing with any variables or dangers that might pop up.
So it suggests the journey itself, the path between A and B, might actually be dangerous or unstable.
Well, that's a fair reading, I think. It implies Anubis isn't just, walking alongside. He's potentially clearing obstacles, making the path stable, ensuring there's no failure during the trip.
Huh. So, much more hands-on than the typical image sometimes suggests. It's a dynamic, necessary intervention. He's making sure that the preparation, that gift of life, actually leads to arrival in the chamber of rest. He manages that tricky bit in the middle.
You could say he's the active agent making the transition work. Without him actively securing it, maybe the preparation could be wasted or the passage could fail. He guarantees that movement, which always carries risk, actually succeeds.
Right. Okay, so we've got the safety covered, the physical or spiritual logistics of the journey managed. But that's sort of the what and the how. What about the experience itself? For a soul going through this massive change, security's one thing, but
you need more than just safety, right? And the sources absolutely address that. They spend quite a bit of time on the internal experience, the emotional side, the ethical dimension, basically trust and comfort.
Comfort. That seems crucial.
It's arguably the ultimate goal, isn't it? The journey shouldn't just be safe, it should feel peaceful. And the sources tell us that solace is provided. The transition isn't just successful, it's comforting. We're told he offers solace through the embrace of peace.
The embrace of peace, that's a powerful image. Comfort during the ultimate transition. I mean, you could be safe from outside threats, but the internal turmoil of leaving everything known behind, that could be huge.
Exactly. So this embrace of peace suggests he provides a kind of psychological, maybe spiritual grounding. His very presence brings peace.
And what underpins that? How can the soul be sure of this comfort, this safety?
Well, that brings us to the ethical core of his role in these texts. Why trust him? It all comes down to his faithfulness, his integrity. The sources really stress his reliability. They use phrases like the promise kept.
The promise kept.
And the simple, firm statement that he stays true to his word.
That's really interesting. So it's not just his power that makes him effective, it's his character.
Yeah.
His reliability is guaranteed because his word is good.
Yes. It raises this question about divine contracts or duty here. It's about dependable commitment, not just raw ability.
His identity is his loyalty to this job.
Seems like it. For a culture so focused on doing things right, on preparation, the final guarantee isn't luck. It's this consistent, reliable faithfulness from Anubis. He becomes this necessary anchor, the one being who will absolutely honor the deal for safe passage.
And that promise, that loyalty, it has a lasting effect, doesn't it? It's not just a quick help out during the crossing.
No, the sources make that clear too. They talk about this enduring impact. They note his dedication establishes a legacy of care.
And legacy of care.
And also that his power endures. It reinforces the idea that his commitment shapes the soul's new reality permanently. Peace isn't temporary, it's a guaranteed outcome because he's eternally committed.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together then. When we synthesize these really dense descriptive sources, what's the picture we get? It seems like a clear three-part function for Anubis.
I think so. First, he's that eternal protector, guarding the prepared soul, guaranteeing safety with that everlasting watch in the chamber of rest.
Right. Then second, he's the active guide, the agent making sure the movement actually happens successfully, leading the way, securing the journey for that safe passage.
And then finally, he's the ethical foundation, the keeper of the promise, the one who brings that crucial comfort and solace with the embrace of peace.
Yeah. Ultimately, the picture these specific sources paint isn't terrifying at all. It's Anubis as this absolutely constant, completely reliable presence. He's necessary to get from the end of life to a state of peace.
Every phrase we looked at really points towards unwavering commitment and this active intervention to make sure the soul's passage is safe, comfortable, and complete. Exactly as promised.
Which leaves us with maybe one final thought for you, the listener, to consider.
Yeah, little something to mull over. If Anubis provides this everlasting watch, this eternal protection, and his power has to actively secure the journey, what does that imply about the need for that defense, even after the soul has reached the chamber of rest? If the watch is truly everlasting, does that suggest that maybe the potential for chaos or threat or instability, maybe it never fully disappears, even in the afterlife?
Huh. So eternal vigilance might be needed because the state of peace isn't inherently stable without it.
It's a question the sources seem to raise, isn't it? Something about the nature of that eternal peace. We'll leave that one with you.